Hey guys, welcome to a new LP that I'm doing. My name is Scott, aka Vyper4580. I do the Lethal Injection Minecraft podcast. Originally this series started off as LiveLIMP, which was my live LP essentially. But I've decided to kind of turn this into more of an LP series versus a LiveLIMP thing. I'll still be doing live streams, but it will be a little different as to how exactly I do them, which I'll explain later on. I have set up this world originally, like I said, to do the LiveLIMP, and when I first started it off, it was just the Nightfall seed. So I had to shave the whole island down, do a bunch of work on it, and to kind of catch up to speed as to what I've been doing, it's probably best to go on to our LiveLIMP channel and check out the previous 2 episodes. Not the third one. The third one was on the server. So, but since then, I have done a lot of work on the area, which I'm about to show you now. I thought it would be applicable to kind of start the video with the sun rising in the background, and here I am, my diamond armored, or not even diamond, it's iron armor glory here. So we're going to go ahead and show off what I'm doing here. First off, I've designed a completely new mob spawner. This uses the gravity concept designed, I can't remember the guy's name by now, but I'll put him in the notes. But the concept of it, of course, is to use all gravity to let the mobs drop instead of using pistons, because there was a glitch when I first originally started this to where sometimes if you logged off in the middle of a piston being pushed out, the piston would stay extended and, of course, cause issues. So I designed this because I have absolutely no intentions of going back up here to fix it. So the concept is very simple. It's essentially just a bunch of openings where the mobs can drop down into the area. It's not working crazy right now because I'm a little too far away, but I'll head over there in a sec. But essentially the mobs spawn, they drop into the multiple layers, and then fall down here. Let's actually go ahead and take a little closer look now. Originally there was water that was kind of covering this area here, but I went ahead and took out the waterfalls and just extended out the sunlight blocker. So as you probably already heard, there was already a fall, and now that we're closer we should see a little more. Or not. We'll let this thing cook a little bit and basically kind of explain. The chests hold them items, and this redstone daisy chain is a switch down below that essentially goes all the way up, and when I want to retrieve loot, I basically flip that switch. I'll show you exactly where it's at in a sec. I heard some more drops. There we go. God, it's a beautiful sound. The longer I stand here, obviously, the more drops I get. It's blocked to where endermen can't spawn in there and no spiders can spawn in there. So this is strictly creepers, skeletons, and zombies. So this is not a good place, obviously, for endermen, but then again, that's what the end is for. Okay. Now, to retrieve the items, basically have an area down here, which I'll explain why I have this here in a sec. And that's where the items lie. As you can see, mobs drop their items. Nice lava for effect here. And then my sign that says loot. And then basically, once I get to a point where I'm ready to start collecting the loot, I'm going to wait for one more drop before I do it. Alright. Flip the switch. And of course the creeper comes out. It's alright. Of course these protect the water from going any further. Now, while it's like this, basically the redstone goes all the way up, and it uses pistons, which you can kind of see over there, and closes it off. So now the mobs can't drop down. I gotta still design a way where there's a slight delay for the water to come out, which I'll probably work on next, and that way it won't have the water come out too early while the mobs in mid-drop. But of course, here's the redstone the redstone torch daisy chain that goes all the way up, kills the pistons. Now, originally this was actually significantly taller. I want to say this was about 60 blocks up, and I was kind of wondering why I wasn't getting good rates. Now, and then I talked to Static, and Static kind of informed me that mobs don't move if they're 40 blocks away from you, which of course would explain why I wasn't getting any drops. So I had this thing lowered, and basically once it was lowered, the mobs started dropping a lot more frequently. I'm not sure how that happened, but my plan is not foolproof apparently. I'll look at it later. But basically, once I dropped it down, the mobs actually started dropping quite more frequently, and I was able to get it to work. But I was noticing that some mobs were surviving still from the drop, so that's why I went ahead and I extended it further down and created this loot chamber here to pick up my loot. So we'll go ahead and come back down here. Somehow that fall still killed. Flip this. Oh, look at that. I love doing that. Beautiful. Anyway, so we'll leave him down there because he'll eventually despawn anyway. So that's that. Now, another thing, if you're familiar with the LiveLIMP series, you'll notice that this is completely new. This is now my home. I was able to kind of design something here, and thankfully because of 1.2.4 we now have upside down stairs and half slabs, so I was able to kind of design a nice area out of here. Now you'll realize that the majority of this is planks, obviously, and that's because I have a massive tree farm, which I'll show you in a sec. In fact, this area actually was part of the tree farm, and I ended up slicing it in half. Here you'll find my storage area. So this is where I will keep all my stuff. My original storage area I completely dismantled, moved everything over here, basically because of the fact that I kind of got sick and tired of going down a hole to store everything. So now everything is on the same level as me. I'm happy about that. Over here you will find my bedroom. This is where I do all my love making. And by love making I basically mean just sleep. Because there's no females in Minecraft. I like this idea of sconces, basically. That's essentially what it's supposed to look like. The only thing is that eventually I want to try and use nether brick fences, because I think they'll stand out a little better. Because right now from a distance it kind of just blends in with the background. I'm not too happy about that. Also, I was given a suggestion by another friend of mine who said that I should use colored planks, since they now introduced that the logs actually do affect the color of your planks. The problem is that actually doesn't affect staircases yet, so I would have kind of a weird looking setup here. So that'll have to wait until they either add the colors to it, or I basically just change the material that I use when making this house. There's several rooms that are empty. I haven't really decided what to do with them yet. Feel free to suggest, obviously, what I should do with these. I think they're about 8 blocks that way, about 7 blocks this way, and about 5 blocks up. So if you want to give me some suggestions as to what I can do with this area, I'll be more than happy to take your suggestions into consideration and see if I can kind of incorporate them into the build. So over here is kind of like my work area. As you can see, you got the white wool to kind of show that off here. My chemistry area here, if you want to call it that. This is where I have my music box and a chest where I'll eventually store all my records at. I got lucky and I got one of the records already from one of the dungeons I found, so throw that in there for now. This is of course where I'll be doing all my work. Okay, that's annoying. We're gonna put that away. This is where I'll be doing all my major work, basically anything that revolves furnaces and workbenches. This really doesn't serve much of a purpose. It's kind of here because I just wanted something in this corner and I didn't know what else to put here yet, so I kind of threw this here as a nice little bird bath of sorts, for lack of better explanations. I had to put these torches here because I was actually dealing with some mob spawning. which was very frustrating. I came back in here one day and I saw a creeper, and I freaked out. I'm like, oh no. So I took that out, put those there. This room I will eventually turn into a spider spawner. I plan on having spiders actually spawn beneath, and then having water currents kind of come up, suffocate the spiders, and then drop their loot right here. I might turn it into an XP farm depending on what I feel like I need at the time. But I thought this would be a cool idea. I already kind of started working on the area down below, which I'll show you in a sec. I got it partially squared off, but it still needs a lot of work. I mean, I gotta shave quite a bit, a few rows down, especially if I'm gonna have mobs spawning. So, it still needs work. I eventually want to actually gut out this entire underground area under my base, because eventually I want to have like a slime spawn, because I've been lucky enough to find slimes under my base and kill them for the slime balls, but at some point I actually want a more efficient way of grabbing slime balls instead of just hoping to God that they spawn. So we'll go ahead and go up. Okay, close it off just in case. Now, we'll head around here and take the beauty way through here. This is the second half of my place. Not much really going. We got a bunch of empty rooms here, which again, I'm taking suggestions as to what to do. So, empty here. All with the same measurements. They pretty much all are the same, so that makes it a little easier. Now, here is my my nether room. I kind of used another rack and obviously the obsidian and all that, the glowstone up there to kind of reflect the corruption kind of spreading through my home. And I thought it would look pretty cool to do it that way. I actually kind of got the idea through Doc M when he had his nether room, and I used my own variant on it, which I thought was pretty cool. So I was happy about that. I'll eventually show you the nether later on in this episode. Now here's my tree farm, and obviously one of the big differences is that I changed the paths to have like a nice little design, where you got the cobble, go to stone brick, and then of course you have the actual trees that are all lined up here. And this is actually we used to have the whole spawn covered here. This house wasn't even here. This was all tree farm originally, and I decided to slice it in half and turn that into my house and keep this as the tree farm. My goal at some point is to actually venture out and get the different types of trees and have those spawn here, or plant them here, I should say. I also gutted out all of the grass, used sand to turn into sandstone, which eventually I turned into slabs. Made a nice little, stairway here. This is where my original storage area used to be. I would have to take the ladder all the way down. I've since filled that up, and it's filled with dirt now. So, here's my farm. I finally got all my mobs kind of centralized. Originally they were all throughout the entire island, and I got a little tired of that, so after tricking them with wheat, I was able to bring them here. I got all my blue sheep. Now originally why I have so many was because before the update, there was no way to get your wool back on the sheep once you sheared them. So I spawned a bunch of them thinking I was going to need it, but now, because they eat grass to gain their wool back, I don't need to do that, so I might have to kill a couple of them, but at least now I have tons of blue wool. And over here, same thing. I got red wool here. I've been breeding them. I have a couple over here, but nothing too major. This is my beef. This is where I will breed and slaughter my cows for food. Same with the pigs. Got them here. Over here is white sheep. I actually haven't really done much with these guys because I haven't really needed a whole lot of white wool. But they are here when I need them. And then my chickens. Lots and lots of chickens. I've actually found that breeding the chickens with wheat is just a bad idea. I've actually had more fun pelting them with eggs And eventually, they give me baby chickens. My drop rate's really bad right now for some reason. This usually works out a little better. Apparently I'm just not meant to have any chickens today. But I've gotten pretty much the majority of these through just tossing eggs. So, alright. But there you go, my chicken farm. Now, here's my stone generator. This is the concept that Static pretty much made with his video. I made a little modification to it. One of them is that the actual water now is about 2 blocks away now. So that way, when the lava actually comes down and turns this into cobble, I can actually push the cobble over here and then have it come out naturally while retaining the water source block. So let's see if we can kind of replicate that real quick. And it's actually going to play nice with me today. There we go. And that turns that into cobble. I push this, moves the cobble over, brings the water back, and then I just push it out. My eventual plan is to make this automated to where this will just keep pushing out stone until it gets to a certain point. And I've already measured this out to where it actually will stop before it hits that elevator. And then from there I just cut it all down. I don't have a pickaxe on me, so I can't do that right now, but I'll do that in a bit. Or do I have one over here? No. No. Oh well, it'll have to wait. So let's actually take a trip over here, because I'm sure you've seen in the distance there's this little hut over here. That actually leads to a little build of mine. Nothing too new and exciting, but I'm happy about it anyway. Oh. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Stupid thing. Fail. Anywho. So that was my boat launcher, which absolutely failed because I didn't reset it when I traveled back. So shame on me. But we're gonna head over here. And here is my XP farm, actually. When I was going through all of the caverns and mine shafts, I ran across this and found it and kind of decided to go all the way up and make that little hut over there. Oh, there's a zombie running wild. Means I've missed a torch somewhere. Alright. I'll figure that out later. Now, here's the spawner. And what it does is obviously it moves the spiders over here and allows me to kill them. Now, I don't have a sword. I'm totally not prepared for this. Actually, I think we can make one here real quick. Here. Alright. Yeah, there we go. I'm a little unprepared for this, sorry. But yeah, so it lines them up here. I just swing away, kill them all. Creepy ambience music. Lure them into the water channel. Voila. Now, because I am one of those guys, I hate to waste things, I actually designed a neat little lift to kind of fix this here. Let's get this last group. I love items, and I'm not one to miss out on free stuff. So what I did is I actually designed a switch that switches out the stream here, gives me all that stuff, and it puts this block up so that way no more spiders can go through while this is going on. And then there's a water source block that pushes all the stuff towards here. So then once I'm ready to start killing again, flip that, raises up the blocks here and here. And now I can kill again. And there you have it. Now, I found this through going through a mine shaft. You can kind of see where I sealed stuff off. Here's a zombie. I'll have to find out where they're at, but I'll do that later. Oh, this one followed me. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. And there you have it. Eventually I'll get into enchanting. I haven't made an enchant room yet, so that's probably one of the things I'll use the enchanting room on. Alright, grab the loot, and voila. So we'll go ahead and head back up before I get tempted to kill more spiders, since I really hate spiders. Do-si-do-si-do. I gotta admit, originally I intended to use glass all the way from up to bottom, but I decided to actually keep the water stream going because it looked really cool. Alright, so we'll go ahead and head back here, and I'll show you the last part of my house, or my base of operations, I should say. There's a ravine that I was emptying out. Missed the opening here. Alright. Score. And that's exactly why I had that issue earlier, because I didn't reset that back. So there you go. Alright. So the last thing I want to show you before... Oh, that's really bugging me. The last thing I want to show you before we go into the nether is my wheat farm. This is why I have a bunch of bread. My wheat farm here, this will eventually be increased up, and yeah, but for now, oh, excuse me, it is a simple farm that when you press the button, it releases the water and moves the stuff over. Now I know that I need to increase the height on this, but honestly I just didn't feel like it was really worth bothering right now, because I still need it to be that low in order to replant, and I got lazy. So, well, of course, both rows push the items over here, and as you can see, I get tons of wheat. Tons and tons of wheat and seeds. So we go ahead and put the wheat over here, and I'll keep the seeds on me for now. And then I go up here, and this is where I replant. Grab the strays. Not really that many strays if you think about it. And then I replant them. And I know there's better farms out there. Trust me. I realize that this is not the best design, but I like it, and I'm happy with it. So, it works for me. At some point I actually do want to make it to where each row has its own switch, but for now I just felt like having one switch for both is probably just a better idea for now. I'll probably work on that another time. So, and that's that. And then I basically just let that grow with all the torches lined up here. Probably wouldn't need so many torches if I didn't roof it, but I wanted a roof on this. I don't know. I felt like I needed one. And I already have a just beyond amount of torches to do it, so I was like, yeah, I'll just do it that way. Now, you saw this earlier, and essentially, this has a purpose. For now, I just kind of wanted to use this area to have like a starter pad. But eventually what this will be is I wanted to make an observation tower that looks into the mob spawner. So if I ever have any issues, I could take the observation tower up, go in there, as well as kind of look around and all that fun stuff. I got the area squared off, and then I used the glass to basically make sure there's no mob spawns on there, so I can save myself some torches. And eventually I'll use like one of the enchants to get that glass back. Or I think it's Silk Touch. But basically, this is the area in which it'll actually exist on, and I might have some more purposes for it, like a light tower or something of the sort. But for now, it's nothing. I actually don't have anything to send me back down. I just have the elevator that goes up, so I'm actually going to hurt myself in the process here. Actually, before I do that, I probably should put the seeds and stuff away. Sorry. You can tell I'm not a professional LP guy. There we go. Alright. So that's put away. Now, I'm going to head over here. We're going to jump off. I'm actually going to cheat a little bit and use this chest. Just kind of store everything I got, because I'm about to go into the nether. Actually, I'll keep that sword, just in case. Okay, so we'll go into the nether to kind of show you that, because I'm sure, you know, people want to know where the hell I'm getting my nether brick from for that room, and I'll show you that. So we'll go in here. Little wavy motion. And voila. Now, if you saw LiveLIMP, you'll notice that this room is designed basically to kind of keep enemies out of my my portal area, so that way I don't spawn in and get blasted by a ghast. I'm actually going to be a little cheap here. Sorry. There's a reason why. A lot of people will be familiar with this area if they saw LiveLIMP. I did a little bit of work in here before. We're going to head over here. And I dug this out because I wanted to get to a different area. I really wanted to find another fortress, and I figured like I would have to get out of the area that I already mined the hell out of to find it, and also gain some new glowstone, because obviously glowstone is awesome. And I have not had a chance to use redstone lamps on my my world yet, which I'm not happy about. I'll have to change that at some point. As you can see, I still need to mine some of the glowstone in certain areas. They're just they're around here. That pathway would kind of lead you to nothing at the moment. It was supposed to be trying to find another fortress. This one I designed to get over here, because originally there was tons of mushrooms over here, and then I decided I was going to go ahead and take a separate row here and set this up here. There's so much I want to do in this area. I don't know what exactly I'm going to make, so I gotta think about that first. Now, while we're going down this incredibly long walk, because I made this really long, I definitely want to get to a point where I want a nether wart farm in the nether, for obvious reasons. And then, of course, I have tons of rooms in my house, which I really, really need to put something in. So, that'll be my big projects right now, as well as the observation tower. Now, we just arrived here at the nether fortress. Now, this is basically where I've gotten some of my nether brick. The torches are strictly for aesthetic purposes. I know that they have no impact on mob spawning here in the nether, since they don't really go by blacklight. I'm well aware of that. I essentially use the torches as a way to kind of show where I've been, so that way I can effectively travel through it without wondering if I've been there or not. since we're in peaceful, I'll go ahead and actually show you the, there's a blaze farm that I eventually plan on working on. It's nothing yet, but this is where I was able to get my blaze rods for now. My plan is to turn this into an actual farm area, but for now I have nothing going on here. I just got these torches to kind of let me know that I've seen this, I've been here, and you are my victim eventually. Creepy noises. So over here, you'll see like parts of where I've shaved down at and got some nether brick. I'll show you in a sec here. I also love the look of the torches on the nether brick. It looks really cool. But yeah, I've shaved down here. I've actually died in that lava one time. That's really bad. I lost diamond tools. I was pretty upset about that, but that's my own damn fault. But yeah, the nether brick here, I shaved down a little bit. Did the same over here. Same over here. It was already naturally kind of looking like it crumbled, so I figured I'd just finish the job. And my eventual plan is to shave all the way into the center here, and then kind of just shave it down again and use netherrack to get back up. Over here is where I will be getting my nether wart eventually. Here's another wart room here. I haven't grabbed it yet because I don't want to grab it without actually having a place to put it. And then of course there's another one directly behind it. So I will be pretty good with nether wart when I get to the point where I can harvest it and move it to where I want it. So yeah, and that's pretty much it, all I can show at the moment with this. So that's that. Now, there's a funny little glitch with my nether portal. Because I moved it, I think there's an issue with it, because eventually originally I should say, I was able to travel back and forth through the nether with no issue because I had that one portal that was in the storage area that was underground, and it wasn't a big deal. Now, I moved my portal in the main world, and it still takes me into my room, which is fantastic. But where it takes me out at is a totally different area. I'm actually going to run here a bit. I feel stupid because I totally did not take my food. Alright. But yeah, basically, it takes me to a random location, which at some point I really got to break it down, or find maybe a different way to get into the nether. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. And this is probably just me not realizing how to fix it. So by all means, if you guys have the answer for this, I'm more than willing to listen to your advice. But basically, it takes me way the hell out of there. Like, I have no clue why it takes me to this point. So let's hurry up and see if we can get over there. It's not far enough to where I can't get back, which I'm really happy about, but it's far enough to obviously be an inconvenience. So let's switch back. And as you can see, it pretty much takes me to the middle of nowhere. I don't know why it put me here. It generated this platform here for me, which I guess is kind of nice. But eventually you'll see, yeah, there's my mob trap, so you can see that's where I belong at. So basically just gotta jump down and swim back. But it's a real big inconvenience. I have no clue why it's doing that. So if you guys know how I can fix that, by all means, I would definitely love to hear it. I'm not a pro at Minecraft. I'm good with it, but I'm not a pro by any means. So I will definitely take advice. So that's it. I've showed you everything I've worked on for now. Like I said, my big plan right now is to basically get that observation tower set up. I'm going to eventually work on the spider farm, which is down that way. and I might make some improvements to this at some point. I'm not 100% sure. I think I want to add one more layer going downward to kind of give the mobs one more place to land and do a little damage to them before they actually do the inevitable fall. And then of course my big change is that I eventually want to make a delay on the pistons down there before they release the water, so that way mobs don't fall down midway and get caught in the water and survive like we saw with that creeper. So I got a little work cut out for me, but it's set up to where I'll eventually get that fixed. So that's it. And for those that were wondering, LiveLIMP is not dead. It'll still be around. The difference is that now basically whenever I work on my world, I will actually be using LiveLIMP to kind of show off what I'm doing. So if you want to follow me over there, it's twitch.tv/lethalinjectionmp, and the link will be below. Excuse me again, sorry. But you can find me there. Also, if you are interested in the podcast and you have not heard it yet, the podcast is located at lethalinjectionpodcast.com. We just filmed episode 41, and that'll go up on Monday morning like they usually do. So don't miss that one, because that one was actually really good. We had a lot of news to talk about, and both Joe and John showed up, which is always shocking. Typically it's either one or the other. So I'm actually going to switch this back so I can start getting mob drops again. But yeah, so definitely check that out. You can follow the podcast and eventually these updates as well on Twitter at twitter.com/LIPodcast. You can like me on Facebook at facebook.com/LIPodcast. And you can also get updates through there too if you're not a Twitter guy. And originally I wasn't even a Twitter guy until Foundry of Rarcast and Geek Culture Happy Hour kind of forced me into it, and now I can't get away from it. But yeah, you can find me there, and of course I'll be trying my best to release these every week on Wednesday, but it's kind of iffy. I'm not 100% sure. So you can make sure that you follow the social medias, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'm typically pretty good at that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely give me feedback in the comments section. I would love to hear it. It helps me out a lot as far as figuring out what's working, what's not working. Eventually, I plan on actually uploading some mod tutorials as well on this channel, so kind of expect that. And that is it. Alright guys, this is Scott signing off, and make sure that your cat's is spayed and neutered.